Welcome back to Animal Appreciation. This week we're talking about spiders. And I fucking love spiders. They're up there on my favorite animals, and they're so cool. I love them. Honestly, there's so many cool types of spiders. I'm probably gonna do a second part to this at some point, like not time soon because there's a bunch of other cool things to talk about, but I'll probably do a part 2 of meat spiders. We have to start off with my all-time favorite type of spider, the jumping spider. Look at how cute they are. Isn't this adorable? Look at that face and you can't, look at him and you can't tell me that that's not the cutest spider you have ever seen. Like, he's just a little guy. I love them, and there's a bunch of different cool types of jumping spiders. I'll probably do an entire jumping spider video because they're just so cool, but they are one of the smartest types of spiders, and they have the best eyesight, well, one of the best eyesight out of all the spiders too, which is neat. And they do like fun little mating dance, and look at them, perfect, 10 out of 10, no notes, they're just adorable, and I'm obsessed with them. Kind of going in the opposite vibe from the jumping spider, we have the Brazilian wandering spider. Wandering spiders are hair in my mouth. Wandering spiders are found all over South America. The Brazilian wandering spider is specifically mostly found in Brazil, around the Amazon rainforest and such. They are called wandering spiders because they don't actually make webs. They wander, they like actively hunt instead of just sit and wait for a bug to land in their web or something other than a bug, like not specifically just bugs. But yeah, they actively go and hunt their prey, which is neat. And they are one of the most venomous spiders, as I'm sure you've probably heard. Their bite is pretty nasty. And what's fun about them is sometimes they can get into places that are not South America on like shipping, or like they get transported in like bananas and stuff, so we love that. Check your fruit and produce because we do not want these guys where they're not supposed to be because they would be invasive and that would be bad. Another pretty spicy venomous spider is the Sydney funnel web spider, which is classified as the second most venomous but first most dangerous. I'm not entirely sure, but I looked it up and then I forgot. They're found in, of course, Australia, because why not? And they're classified, they're pretty dangerous because they do tend to live around humans quite a lot. They're very well adapted to living in urban environments like larger cities, and yeah, so bites by these guys are pretty common. Fortunately, there is an anti-venom, which is great. We love people not dying from spider bites. Yeah, one of the most commonly known venomous spiders and one of the most dangerous ones, and also very shiny. I appreciate that. And there's funnel web spiders, so their web is that cool like funnel shape with the opening and it goes back pretty far. I like funnel web spiders. There's a few different types around where I live. Not nearly as dangerous. I've never been bit by one, but I've seen their webs before and it's pretty cool looking, pretty cool structure. This is the mirror spider, also known as the sequin spider. It is, of course, again, found in Australia. And what's neat about these guys, on their abdomen, so like the ass area, it's actually it's shiny, like it's like metallic looking. I don't think it's actually metallic, like there's no metal, but it's metallic colored and very reflective, which helps camouflage because it just reflects the color and like pattern and stuff of whatever it's around to help it blend in better, which is very neat. These guys look super cool, and that is a very interesting camouflage tactic. There's a lot of bugs or spiders that have very interesting camouflage. There'll be a couple more coming up, but these guys, very shiny, very cool, 10 out of 10. It's the golden silk orb weaver spider, long name, and it is named such because it's an orb weaver spider, which is like a type, and the silk that it makes, like the spider silk, is actually gold instead of like white, clear, silver, whatever. It's like a yellowish gold, and that's pretty cool, and it's super strong as well. Like, I think it's like more strong than regular spider silk. I don't know, don't quote me on that. I think I heard that somewhere. And there are like the two spiders in this picture. They are both golden silk orb weavers. However, the really big one is the female and the itty bitty one is the male. That is actually pretty common among lots of things, like even in like birds and mammals, the female tends to be larger. It's just very dramatic in spiders. So the golden silk orb weaver spiders are mainly found in like, well, they're native to South America, so like Argentina and Peru. They've also started coming up, they also live in Puerto Rico and have started coming up into southern states like Florida and Texas. However, they are not considered invasive because they're not doing any environmental damage, they're just chilling. We have fishing spiders. This one specifically is, I think, the 6-spot fishing spider. And yes, spiders can go underwater. These guys are adapted to living in and around water. I don't think they can breathe underwater, but they can hold their breath for a while. They're very well adapted to it, and they eat fish, and they're just pretty cool. There's a few different species of these that live all around, but yeah, so water spiders. We've got trapdoor spiders, which are very neat. They make their little burrows, they live in their burrows, and they actually make a lid that goes on top, and they just hang out in their burrows and then when they sense a thing they want to eat going past, so like a little bug or centipede or whatever, they pop out of the trapdoor and drag them into their burrow, which is very neat. They live mostly around the United States, some up into Canada, and I think some into Mexico, but I'm not entirely sure. This is cool. They just have a really cool hunting web house situation. This is a crab spider, and again, there's a ton of different species of crab spiders. This one, I'm not actually sure what this is, but we have them in Canada, and there's a ton of different species. They look all super different, but I like these ones specifically because they can change color. So depending on where they are living currently, like they tend to like to live on flowers, they can, at least this species changes from white to yellow and back again depending on what like environment they're in, which is very cool. They do that for camouflage. I like crab spiders a lot and I see them around here quite often. Another spider that I am a big fan of is the Goliath bird-eating spider. I think it's a species of tarantula, but don't quote me on that. It is the biggest species of spider, and yeah, no, that's not Photoshop, that is how big they are. They live in South America, and they are just absolute fucking units. They can eat pretty much anything. They eat like rodents and birds, hence the name. Again, don't quote me on this, but I think there's been cases of them eating monkeys, but I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, just big boys. This is the bird-dropping spider. Yeah. Another very neat camouflage method. They live in mostly around New Zealand and Australia. I think there's actually a couple different species of spiders that mimic bird droppings. I think one of them is actually crab spider. This one might actually be the crab spider version. But there's a few different ones that look like bird shit because nobody wants to eat bird shit. Like 10 out of 10, great camouflage strategy. We have tarantulas, which again, I'll probably make a longer, more detailed version or video of tarantulas, again, because they're super cool. There's a lot of very interesting ones. This one is, I think, the electric blue peacock tarantula, which again, yep, it sure is. Big fan of tarantulas. They're found all over, like the Americas. I've seen them before. They're really neat, and I am a big fan of them. I would have one as a pet if my roommate wouldn't die. We've got black widows. Everybody's heard of black widows. They're considered to be the most dangerous spider in, I think, at least Canada, because we don't have recluses here, allegedly. But they're actually not that dangerous. They're barely ever fatal unless there's like a bad allergic reaction. Most of the time you go get anti-venom, you're fine. Most of them aren't fatal, but they're very cool. I've had them in my garage and everything before. I've never had a problem with them. They're shy, they tend to not like human interaction, so unless you like grab one or try to squish it, there's not really a problem. We've got the Ladybird spider, which I am a big fan of. They look super cool. They're found mostly in Europe, and they mimic ladybugs. I think this isn't actually the male. I think the female look a bit different. But yeah, it looks like a ladybug. It's a very pretty spider. I'm a big fan of them. And finally, for today at least, we have the wolf spider. I like these guys. They're found all over British Columbia, North America, Canada, all that. I took this picture of the mama wolf spider and her babies, MVP best parent spider. Yeah, I'll probably make a part 2 because there's so many cool spiders.